All right. Route 104, episode number 1.
Yes.
I'm excited to be here with the only guest that is right for a first episode of anything, especially something to do with me. She is my wife.
Mm-hmm.
She's a mother. She's a friend. I'd say she's a person of high character most of the time, high morals, high values, and high beliefs.
Yeah.
And those things typically cannot be swayed. She's caring. She's empathetic. She's well-traveled.
Not really.
You gotta let me finish. She's quick to cut you off.
Yeah.
She's well-traveled. Not across the globe, but in life. She's a well-traveled life right here in the good old heart of Columbus, Ohio. And many, many more things. I love her, and so do a lot of other people. With that being said, welcome Tenisha Rigby.
Thank you.
To the first episode of Route 104.
Yes. One of your mini podcasts.
Yeah, but this one means more.
Why?
This one is, well, Mix It Up was great. Mix It Up, a podcast that me and my wife, Tenisha, did. Kevin and Tenisha Mix It Up. It was a great podcast.
Yeah.
And we had about 12 episodes.
It was a good time.
A lot of good stuff. And then it just became a lot of work. So for me, while taking on other things, so it kind of just fizzled out. But Route 104, this being, for those of you that listen to the intro, which if you're listening to this, hasn't been recorded yet, but you know, we work backwards and in and out and all of that sometimes. Hey, yo. So Route 104 is the connections that have brought me together with other people, with other like-minded people, with people with differences. It's the connections of my life that I want to continue and have conversations and share about things that we've picked up along the way. Route 104 was the...
I didn't even know Route 104 was a thing.
Route 104 was the route, the Ohio State route that connected me to pretty much everybody that I cared about and loved for a long time in my life. And I mean, Route 1, I'm still live right off of the extension of 104, which is Refugee Road. So I've lived on or off of Refugee Road my whole life. And Route 104 is one of those little strips of freeway in our city. If you're from the South Side, you know what it is. So that's the connection point in my life to so many memories and so many people. And this podcast is to relive some of those memories with people, but also use this as a connection point for others to listen and learn about something or someone they may not already know. So that's
connected solely to you?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking.
It's the connection of something or connecting something or someone. So I don't have to know the person, but the goal is for others to get to know said person. It's building roads and connections for others.
Got it.
You didn't seem to have it.
I got it.
Okay. So with that, all of that being said, all of those things, I'll run them down again. Mother, wife, friend, high character, high morals, values, beliefs, daughter, caring, empathetic, all of those. Mm-hmm. Who is Tenisha? What did I miss? Did I miss anything?
Tired.
Tired.
Are you asking me who I am?
Yeah, with that being said, who is Tenisha?
I am a person, like most people should be, someone who is constantly seeking to evolve. Right now, I am in a space of figuring out what's it like to be in your 30s and be a mom and be a wife while also staying true to the things that I value as an individual. I would say that I have also learned that as I've gotten older, a lot of the things that I used to enjoy doing, I don't like to do anymore. And not because they're not fun or that I don't have a good time when I do them. They just don't impact my life the way that they used to. So that's been a change for me as well, that I find myself gravitating more towards women who are a little bit older than I am, just because they provide me with what I need right now in this season of evolving. And I would say that the journey isn't over, of course, because I'm not dead, but I would say that the things that I liked 3 years ago or 2 years ago, or even maybe 6 months ago, I may not be interested in them. And I'm learning to be okay with that.
So we're evolving constantly. If anyone else was doing this podcast or asking you those questions, there would be definitely follow-up questions to your evolution, but because I'm your husband, I am afraid to ask.
Don't be scared.
I'm afraid to ask about what's next, or, where do you want to evolve, or where. I asked the kids before we did this. We have 2 kids, Gavin and Ava, 7 and 11. Gavin's social security number is 7-Eleven. I asked what kind of questions I should ask, and they had all these questions about what's next, or where do you see yourself in the future? But
you don't like those questions. Those questions make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, that makes me uncomfortable, because what do I do with those answers? What do I do with a husband with any of those answers? Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely agree. You've evolved very much in life, and luckily for me, I have continued to be a part of the evolution.
Yes.
So yay for me. But without diving into too many details, 2023, we're in 2024 now, but we look back on the year of 2023, and we would say that it was a amazingly difficult year for our family.
Yeah.
Some things that even everybody in our family knows about or doesn't even know about, but it was a tough year. But somehow you've continued to have still a positive outlook and maintain healthy relationships through difficult times. How do you do that?
For me, transparency is key. Like, I will always say that, because I value living in your truth. And sometimes I think it's okay for you to not know what your truth is, like, right away, but be willing to go back to it. And I think that even for me to be able to say, I don't really know how I feel about this situation, but I do want to revisit it. I think that's enough power and understanding of where you are as a person to be able to convey that level of vulnerability to someone else. And I think that that's what carries me in a lot of my relationships, is just my ability to be transparent. In, even if I'm wrong, I'm willing to take that being wrong, but me being willing to take the risk as well makes it worth it. So, if they don't want to rock with me no more, or if they feel some type of way about me, at least I can, like, end that relationship, or that relationship be on pause with you and I both knowing where we are.
Yeah. The same thing doesn't apply with our relationship, though. No?
No, it does. It definitely does.
Well, you being wrong, I guess.
No, I'm not wrong.
Oh, okay. So along with that, like as your husband,
Mm-hmm.
I see you grieve for brief moments of time, just like in our entire marriage. And I see you grieve briefly for, whatever, different things outwardly.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, just for brief moments, but outwardly, grief for you isn't an ongoing thing. How do you handle grief then? Because everybody that knows you, even if they know you're going through something, they don't ever see you go through it. How do you internally handle grief?
No, I do handle grief externally. I think that I only share those type of vulnerabilities with certain people who have the capacity to handle it, because not everybody can handle what you're going through. So like knowing who your core people are is very important, and knowing how to use them is even more important. And that's why I think that I don't like someone had asked me who was my best friend. And I'm just like, I'm at a stage in my life where I don't need that label of like, who's your best friend or things like that, because then that comes with an expectation. It's more of who has value in your life that I tend to navigate to.
At that moment? Like it doesn't always have to be the same person.
Correct. Yeah. So the people that I may convey my grief to may not be the people that I share like relationship conflict or like work frustrations, or maybe they are, because they have that much value and depth in our relationship that we can connect in multiple ways. And I court my relationships. Like, that I don't let people know everything about me all at once. That's just not who I am. I've learned through my experience in relationships that that's not healthy. So in that courting, you kind of understand who they are and if they have value. So, I agree with you. I agree with other people, but I also make sure I have a coping skill. And I think that's what helps me a lot is, like when I was going through a lot of grief, someone invited me to yoga. So I went to yoga and I was doing yoga for a while, and that helped me, that grounded me. And I was also talking to my therapist. So, that also allowed me to have the opportunity to verbally process, as well as providing me with the opportunity in yoga to be centered and to be grounded within self.
So you've always seen, going back to your question about, or the earlier question about who is Tenisha, you pretty much threw it out there that you're someone who evolves. So that question can change a lot. And I feel like you've always seen so much more for yourself in any moment. You have never been one to be stagnant, or just accept something for what it is. Like, you can see that this is where I'm at right now, but I want more. Some people see that as you not being able to keep a job, or not being able to
keep a hobby. Yeah.
What is it? I guess the question is, why have you always seen so much more for yourself? And where did this focus on future come from? So this is my way of asking the question that the kids wanted to ask of, not where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah.
Or where do you see yourself in the future? But how did you develop this future outlook, coming from honestly such a background of maybe where there could be no outlook of future?
I would say that's exactly why. I am fearful of complacency. And I was talking to one of my friends about the difference between being complacent and comfortable, and how that can look different for different people. And I'm fearful of complacency because I feel like then that allows the opportunity for me to just settle for whatever is there. And I also think that, well, I know that my kids are always watching me. Like, forget how other people are watching or what they're watching for. My kids are watching me all the time. And I think that allowing them to see that I do have the ability to ebb and flow through jobs, or even have a job that I don't really like, or be in a season where I'm struggling, and they're aware of that, but also see me show up for them, show up for you, show up for family, and friends. And it just allows me to be a role model in a way that I want to see my children impact the future.
So with that, a lot of people just don't get it.
No. I think a lot of people just don't get it because they're fearful to be met with rejection. And I think that that's one of my strong suits, because I was met with rejection at a young age. So in my mind, the worst thing you can tell me is no. But that's not a new word for me, and that's not an uncomfortable response for me. That's just like, okay, but can we do this? Or what does this look like? Like, I've always been a person to challenge no, because I was met with it so easily, whereas some people are fearful.
So you talk about being met with rejection at a young age. What was that?
Like not being raised by my biological parents. That for a while was, for me, I had to process through that, was a form of rejection. Not being wanted, not where I wasn't quite aware of where they were in their seasons when they had me. Mm-hmm. When I got older and I understood, I was able to see that wasn't rejection, more of a lack of resources and lack of understanding of the responsibility of having a child, which is why I also take parenting so serious. And also just like in high school, like all through like school, not being on an IEP, being identified as the No Child Left Behind, like a lot of my master's, all my degrees and all of the things that I did in high school and in college was to just checkmark, prove people wrong. Not so much a space of like, is this really what I want to do? It was just like, okay, you said I couldn't do it, bet I'm gonna do it. Like,
mm-hmm. So that's funny, because my next question is literally about how other people see you. And I think so, like, from the time I met you in the year 2000 and whatever, 20 years ago or 25 years 25. Ago.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Long time ago. All through high school, all through college, even to this day, I think from the people that are like really on the outside looking in always seem to have such a misperception of who you are. And I say outside looking in because the people that close to you get you and they understand you and they know your story and they know who you are, but there's still people, I guess, that you would consider on the inside, but most of the time people just don't understand you. Why do you think so many people have such a misperception of who you are?
I think once someone identifies, once someone has this image of you, they carry that. And they'll carry that. I mean, they'll carry that forever sometimes, or until they have identified, until you've marked their like check marks of, oh, you have changed, or, oh, this is different. It's another one is like for people who struggle with addiction. Like in some people's eyes, they'll always be classified as an addict or be fearful to engage with them because of their addiction, no matter, how many years they've had in recovery and them working their journey and their program. Some people just choose to carry people in certain lights because they feel comfort in it, whether that be them feeling more superior or them feeling like relatable to you. So for me, I just think that it's just one of those, only a few people really know me. And I think that's because they've done the work and they've been intentional about building a relationship. And not too many people these days know how to do that. Like, not too many people understand how challenging it is to have two people have their own responsibilities and be selfless in those relationships as they would in their relationship with their intimate partner.
What do you mean? Expand on that.
A good example for me would be Auntie Sister, like Angel, my life partner. She's my life partner. Her and I have gone through a lot, like so much, but she has so much value in my life that there may be things that she doesn't even understand. And she'll say this, like, I don't understand where you're coming from, but I'm willing to support you, and vice versa. So there's this level of like, I see where you are right now. I hear where you are, but there's nothing I can do for you unless you tell me. And that's a level of vulnerability and that's a level of connection that people don't want to do the work for. Mm-hmm. So when you're thinking about why people don't know who I am or don't, they have a hard time grasping how I navigate life, is because they haven't done the work to build a relationship with me. And not that I'm not accessible. I'm just very strategic on how I choose to use my time.
Why?
Because I just feel like if I'm saying yes to this, I'm saying no to something else.
What's the something else?
Whatever that may be. That could be me staying at home. That could be me going to the grocery store. So if I'm saying yes to spending time with you, I'm saying no to something else. And what about me spending time with you makes this worth it for you and for me? Because I don't want to take your time away just so you can have something to do, versus me saying no to something that could be impacting someone else or impacting myself in a positive way.
Empathy is hard for people. And that's putting yourself in someone else's shoes, not just looking and seeing what they have going on, but putting yourself in someone else's shoes. So, correct. And that for relationships needs to happen both ways. And it's hard. It can be hard sometimes. So when you think about people who have similar things going on in life with families and kids and businesses and work and all of that, what do you say to that group of people that are vying for someone's time but are not maybe thinking about all the other things that they could be taking away from that person just to like not have a productive, like just hanging out can be productive and you can have relationships and have fun,
chilling and connecting. Yeah, absolutely.
But if there isn't something good coming out of it, like what are they missing? I
guess for me too, another thing is I like to have relationships that have intentional conversations. Like anybody who knows me, like when we can talk about sports, we can talk about like the new tea on TikTok and things like that. But I also like to have conversations about what's going on in your life and not so much your job, but like, how are you doing? How are your relationships doing? How's your mom doing? Because I think that, and a lot of people don't like to do that. I mean, do I like to go to the club? Do I like to go out? Yeah, but I don't like to do it every
You
week.
like to go to the club?
No, absolutely not. That's a lie.
I was about to say.
I like to go out though.
Who you be going to the club with?
I don't go to the club. I don't at all. That's the part of the stages where I say I don't. Yeah, no. I like to go out, but I like to be in by a certain time. Like I like to go out to eat, but I don't want that to be the only thing that we do. Like I enjoy new experiences. I enjoy being outside when it's hot. So there's a level of like, I'm only going to do this thing with you, like turn up, go to the club so much before I'm like, that this is just what our relationship is. There's nothing else to this. So at that point, that's cool, but I'm not going to want to do that all the time.
Well, then how do you also share in those things with someone else? Because when you answer that last question or the question before, it's like, you know, if I'm saying yes to you, that means I'm saying no to someone else.
So last time I told someone, I said, I really want to hang out with you guys, but I don't want to go out to eat and I don't want to go to the club. So look, can we find something else that we can do together? Like I shared that.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, when you say that yes to you, that means I'm saying no to something else that's important. How are you then meeting other people? Where they're at? Like, what are you doing to seek out? Like, what are you doing in the same token to do the work
to be intentional on that side?
To be intentional for someone else. So
I'll reach out to them, or I'll say, hey, what do you have going on? Or this is my availability. Do you have anything? So like linking our schedules up, seeing what we want to do. Now there is someone that I only go out to eat with, but we're talking and we literally are talking for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Just talking, connecting, checking in. But we also only see each other like once a month. So it's not even like a every weekend type of situation. So yeah, I'm being intentional as well. Or if I fell short, like if I haven't texted you in like 6 months, because, you know, life has gotten away from us. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry I haven't texted you in a long time, but what does your schedule look like?
Yeah, you're good about you're going to literally put things on the calendar.
Yeah.
I think you're at a stage in life where as long as it's on the calendar,
yeah,
if you can do it.
I can do it.
But somebody being like,
no, I can't do it.
Your husband gets the text very often, like, what you doing tonight?
And that burns me.
What you got going on this weekend? Like, you need a 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
Well, you need a 90-day notice.
No, at least 7 days. Because I just feel like, I don't know, it's just like last minute stuff is cool, but I can't live like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. No. You can. You're great at it.
Yep.
You're great at it.
Live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Yeah, for real.
Who said that?
As long as you pick your daughter up by 3.
Who said that? Dominic Toretto. Who's that?
I was going to say, who is that?
Why are we married?
I don't know.
Dominic Toretto. All right, so bringing it back around. You know, I just throw some heavy hitters out there first.
Are you prepared for these heavy hitters?
No, those were the heavy hitters.
Oh.
You know, grief, a tough year. Why do people hate you?
Grief isn't, I think because I've experienced loss at a young age, grief isn't, it's not as, for me, it's not as complex as I thought it would be. When I physically lost someone very important to me, because I had been dealing with emotional grief for so long that when I physically lost someone, it was like, dag, that's what this feels like. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was like a little bit different in the context of like the loss, but I was able to apply all the same skills that I used for my emotional grief.
Can you silence the phone?
I'm an important person.
I ain't gonna be touching the other person's leg for the rest of these episodes.
Well, I don't know what you want to do then.
I gotta move closer to the table.
Ow. Well, then you need to move. Then you need to use this one. Or close your legs.
Moving away from a bit of the heavy hitters, like we talked about. Mm-hmm. Kevin and Tenisha Mix It Up, wildly successful podcast back before the whole world was podcasting.
Yeah.
Really focused on marriage and relationships and all the ships. We talked a little bit about relationships tonight, and if you want all Tenisha's views on all of that stuff, go back and listen to Kevin and Tenisha Mix It Up. You can find it on all your favorite.
I wonder if it's changed at all. I should listen to it.
Well, you've evolved, so
yeah,
we'll see if you like me more or less when you listen to me. But I wanted to ask a few questions that were similar in a sense to what we've been talking about tonight. Mm-hmm. And they kind of center around parenting and relationships and the friendship dynamic, all of that. Mm-hmm. For you and, for others, like I said, Route 104, the goal isn't for us to just connect or talk about the connections or the things that we have in common, but also for other people, for there to be connection points for others who are listening. So other parents, other spouses, all of that. How do you think becoming a parent, and not just becoming a parent, because that was a long time ago at this point, but how do you think parenting has constantly changed the marriage dynamic? So not becoming a parent, because we were parents right away, but as our kids grow up, as we evolve, but the one constant thing, right? Your wants can change. You can evolve. Your jobs can change. I mean, there's a lot of things that can change, including your husband. There are so many things that can change, but you're going to be a parent. Like that doesn't change. No. You can choose, like not you, but people can choose to stop parenting, but you're going to be a parent. You don't always have to be a wife, right? You're always going to be a parent. It's just how serious do you take that parenting role? So the question again, with that in mind, is how has parenting changed your marriage dynamic? Again, more for others than for me, because I think I'm going to take the headphones off and not listen.
Yeah, I would say, so since we have a boy and a girl, I feel like it's changed it for me beautifully, because I'm able to see you and Ava. And here's the thing I have to say, like, if you have insecurities, if you have like daddy issues and like insecurities about your relationship with your husband or your father as a woman, you need to figure that out before you have a daughter. Like, pray that you figure that out before you have a daughter, because I can see why some women would be like envious of their child and their relationship with their dads. I could see that, because I love the way she loves you and vice versa. Like, he is a ride or die for Ava. It's crazy to me. The way she gets him to move, I be trying to learn from her, because it's just so organic, and I love that. And so for me, I feel like as a wife, watching her husband love on her daughter in a healthy way, in a disciplined way and in a like loving way is beautiful for me. It's a confirmation that I chose the right person to be my children's father. Now for Gavin, my son, so Ava asked who was my favorite. And I told her I don't have a favorite. And I really don't, because I love both of my children because they're both blessings to me and they have allowed me to thrive. And not so much in like they're my purpose in life, but because God has given me such a huge responsibility, I feel inclined to thrive, if that makes sense. So for Gavin, I just love the way that you and I both, because Gavin is more complex. So I love the way you and I both are able to connect with him in different ways. And we really do have to take more of a collective approach with him, which is healthy. Because then, you know, one person isn't always making the decisions. So, and you challenge me with him as much as you challenge me with Ava, because, you know, Ava's a mini me, which is interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, which of your kids is most like you?
I would say Ava. After hearing her conversation with her aunt on FaceTime, I would say Ava.
What was that conversation?
It was crazy to hear a 7-year-old asking about a 22-year-old's intentions in life at 7. And I had to
well, she gets that from somewhere.
I had to piggyback off and be like, "Are you okay? I'm just checking in."
Because you had to check on her after the conversation.
Yeah.
Do you think people have checked on other people that you've had conversations with?
Probably. They've probably had round tables.
Like, let's get together and make sure everyone's okay after Tenisha talked to him.
Are you safe? Yeah. I would say Ava's the most like me, and I love that for her. Because she'll have someone to like share those experiences with. Like, I would be that person, like, yeah, I understand. I definitely can relate to that. Or, you know, challenge her to look at something a different way. Like when that thing happened at the basketball thing, I was so surprised that she FaceTimed me because, you know, you're with them. So I assumed that she would feel safe. Not that she didn't, but, you know, she wanted to FaceTime me and wanted to talk to me the entire time. So I was just like, and when she said, you know, wigs and pimple patches every.
Yeah.
I was dying because she's, you know, she throws her like organic humor in there.
Right. For context, we had quite the experience at the beginning of this year going to the City League and OCC basketball invitational where some kids just went crazy and, you know, yelled gun and made everybody else scream and scared. And then some other unfortunate things happened that my kids got to witness. And they were pretty scared and had to learn a new thing.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely did. They
had to learn a new thing, and we had to learn a new thing and revert back to ways that, you know, I don't know, things came up for me that I haven't used those strategies in a long time. But yeah, again, I think, learning came out of it, which is, I think, something you're always seeking, and is knowledge and growth and learning. And you get that as a parent very daily. If you want it, you can get it daily. And I don't always want it, but
no,
it's there for us. So along with that, like our parenting partnership, the way we parent, what strategies would you say? And again, I'm not listening. This isn't for me. I just agree with whatever you're saying. This is for the connections with everyone else. What strategies do you use to maintain strong partnerships while you're raising children? Our strong partnership.
Huh?
Like, what strategies do you use to maintain a strong partnership with your spouse?
Oh, my spouse partnership.
While raising children.
So I think it's interesting because we don't talk a lot during the day. Like, I know a lot of couples that talk a lot during the day. We don't talk a lot, if at all. Like, did I text you today?
Nah.
We don't. And I used to think that something was wrong with that, but I don't need that. So, like, just being mindful of like what you need in your relationship is what I think keeps our connection so strong. And the fact that him and I both agreed to like be intentional about constantly pursuing each other. And that can look different from each season that we're in. But just being mindful of like, that's what we've both signed up to do, for me, allows me to feel like it allows me to feel like the relationship will continue to be strong. So, and our kids get to see that too, like get to see us constantly pursuing each other, or like our daughter will be like, are you guys going out on date night? And we may say yes or we may say no, but like, her understanding the value of that is important too. Whether it's me planning or him planning, and what that looks like.
How do you prioritize that time?
How do I prioritize it? I think
amongst the busy schedules and all the things, and even now, like, you add in sports seasons or all the other things going on. How do you prioritize time with your spouse? I don't even know how to think about it. If you think about like middle and high school sports, like we're not even there yet, but no. How do you do that? Or how do you think you'll do that? How do you do it right now? I don't
know. I don't want to lie about the future, but right now,
you're so forward thinking though.
I would, well, yeah, but not in the context of like him in high school. Ew. So I would say right now, I look at the schedule. So like, if you don't have anything going on with Rigby Media on a certain weekend, like weekends works best for us. During the week, it's too much. We tried it. It didn't work. So whether it be a free weekend, it used to be, that's the other thing. It used to be every Friday. That's no longer a realistic thing. It's too expensive. We can't finding a sitter, and the kids like to be home. Like, also respecting the fact that they enjoy being home, which is something that him and I created. So then for you to create a certain like safe space for them, and then for that to not be accessible kind of feels selfish to me. So like, also preparing them and just having communication about what I would like to see happen, as well as you, and moving from there. It may be a couple hours. It may be a weekend. So.
Okay. So we've done the heavy hitters.
Yes.
We took it back a little bit to the Kevin and Tenisha, mixed it up, relationship a little bit, sprinkle in the parenting relationship stuff.
Yeah.
So without going into too much of the unknown, what's next for you? Because, you know, you are forward thinking, but you take things one day at a time. So, but you are moving into a season where you're going to begin your journey as a new business owner, being a new business owner, and with that planned for what's next. What excites you the most, and what scares you the most?
what scares me, what excites me the most is just the level of investment I have the opportunity to have in the community, because I've always like been in the community, but not to this dynamic. So I'm like excited about that, and I'm really excited about like shaping our future, because I feel like people are more invested in being like influencers and individualized than they are impacting the community. And I think that that's great to be an influencer, to influence the community, but are you impacting them in a positive way as well? Like that's one of the things that I really am excited about, because I think that our teenagers and our young adults are really lost. Like they're really lost, and it's scary. And I feel really old saying that, but
you're old.
I'm not that old. But when you sit with when you sit with people and they're like, I don't know. And it's okay to not know what you want to do, right? Because again, what I wanted to do at 21, I don't want to do right now. But I was always seeking something. So to not know at all, that's scary. Very scary. So yeah, I think that's what I'm most.
Well, they know exactly what they want to do. They want to be influencers.
But
they want to do this, which I don't consider myself any of that, but no. They want to do this with no life experience.
Yeah, I don't.
Or no like thing. How can you be an influencer without having influence over something?
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I rather have an impact and my impact influence than
that's a word.
Than be an influencer with no impact.
Say that again.
You know, so
say it again.
No.
Just run that back.
No. So
run that back. Run that back.
No.
You scared that you forgot it?
No, I rather be an impact than an influencer than to allow my influence to have no impact.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
hold on, run that back. Just one more time. Just say that again. That's the sound bite. So that's it. Run it back one more time. That is did you hear that somewhere?
No.
You just made that up?
Yes.
Say it again.
I said I would rather be an impact than an influencer than to influence and have no impact. I just do. And I think that's one of the things, that's why I went into private practice. That's why, I went into what I'm doing now in my career. I think that's why I parent so seriously, and not that I get it 100% correct all the time. By no means do I do that, but my intentions are there. And I think that is enough for me. Even if my kids are like, you did a horrible job, I can say my intentions were genuine and my effort was consistent. And I think that's what I'm most excited about is, and if my kids, want to do it, they have the opportunity. They have the opportunity to carry the torch however they want to. So I'm most fearful of the journey, because no one I know has ever done this before except for one person. So that's not true. Only one person I know has done this, and they don't have children. They have a child, but their child is way older. And so watching the amount of time and effort that they put in makes me fearful, because again, if I'm saying yes to this, I'm saying no to something else. And what could I potentially be saying no to in the future? And am I ready to say no to that?
Date night. Them expensive vacations that you be wanting to go on.
Listen, so I don't know. I don't know. But yeah.
All right. Well, it's been a joy. I have one more question.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I have one more question.
Yes.
And that question is, what's a statement and a question? As are most of my question statements.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you will be remembered at minimum as someone who was an inspiration to the people she loved. And at maximum as someone who's been an inspiration to many who she didn't even know. When you hear that, what feelings come to mind?
It makes me feel uneasy.
Why?
Because I want to make sure that I'm being a positive impact, you know? And I want to make sure that...
I didn't say an impact.
What'd you say?
I said an inspiration.
Inspiration, a positive inspiration. I want to make sure that I'm being a positive inspiration. Not that I have to get everything right all the time, but to know how I operate, you have to know me, you know? So I just hope that, or know my heart at least. And so I just hope that, you know, with hearing that people know a little bit about me, or at least know my heart, to know how I operate.
Let me read my little statement again.
Because I don't know that.
Let me read my little statement again.
Eek.
You're going to be remembered to me at minimum as someone who was an inspiration to the people she loved,
they would know me.
Probably know you and love you back at minimum. So I think you got that covered. That's what you're talking about. You got that covered. Your family, your friends, your people close to you.
Yeah.
Covered. But at maximum, someone who has been an inspiration to many who she didn't even know. So can someone then know you and know your heart without you really knowing them? I see that all the time.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah.
I see that. You see these big churches and these pastors or these influencers, you know, these are people that are inspirations to others and are loved by others, but they don't always know all the people, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's because of what they are doing and how they're moving. And I see you as, you're going to be connected to a lot of people and you're going to love a lot of people, but as you move into the next phase of life and you are out into the community more, I'm not even saying all those people are going to love you.
Yeah. No.
I'm going to say that I'm saying at most, you're you're going to be an inspiration to a whole bunch of people that you don't even know.
Yeah. Because
of the way that you're moving, the things that you're doing, and just spreading your knowledge, your like wealth of well-traveled Columbus, Ohio knowledge.
Well, hopefully I can make it outside of Columbus. You know, that would be great. If I could just do Ohio, maybe. Can you like... You're well-traveled, Ohio. Yeah, I hope so. Well,
have any parting words for
you,
me, for the audience? This again is episode 1. This is the first episode, hopefully, of. I'm gonna shoot for 104.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I want to shoot on Route 104. I want to shoot for 104 episodes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm
going to shoot for 104 of these.
I don't want to limit your.
It's not 100. It doesn't need to be 104 people, but 104 episodes of Route 104, building connections, building roads, not just for myself, but for others, connecting the things. Making connections to things that matter to people, you know?
Yeah. You want to know what's so interesting? People say, people are always like, your husband doesn't talk a lot. And I'm like, yo.
I don't.
He can talk. He can definitely talk. You just have to be a safe person.
A safe person. But
I think you can make it to 104. I say that to say I think you can make it to 104.
But look, as you see, this is not about me talking. These are not about me. This is
I know
Route
it's
104.
not about you, but I'm saying you can make it to 104 because you can get people to talk.
That's the goal. That is the goal. And this is
Did you feel attacked right there when I said that?
I don't feel attacked.
Okay.
But this is proudly phone just keeps going off. Ain't nobody giving me no money. It ain't Cash App, that's for sure. This is proudly brought to you by Rigby Media. Not only is Route 104, my daughter's doing a dance.
She's doing TikTok dances, y'all.
This is it.
You told her an hour. It was exactly an hour.
Exactly an hour. And we will catch you
later.
Why is your mouth open like that?
It's probably can't even hear you.
We'll catch you on the next episode of Route 104. Peace.
Peace out. I just want to really with a diamond range. I already got some designer stupid little pants. I just want some lights on my wrist so I look better when I dance. I'll be looking at it, put you in the drink.
Yeah.
They give y'all more energy. No, they did.
We did good. You